60 minutes of your life. This is the Homer Hour, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. Alongside former Badger and Packer Gary Ellerson, here's Emmy Award winner Homer.
The best 60 minutes of your day, the Gary Ellerson Homer Hour. Yes, about the Green Bay Packers. Good evening, Gary. Gary, if you don't know, is usually mad at Packer fans because their expectations are too high. But I'm not sure that we have him. Do we have Gary?
No, it's a little technical snafu here. Apparently Gary's not connected. Let me try and connect him here.
Technical difficulties. We can address that without any problem whatsoever. We normally have Fat Jack. He is on assignment, and so we will not have him. But that's, if you're going to miss him, it'll probably be this Friday, because next Friday he'll still be able to talk about the upcoming Super Bowl. I was on this morning with Mark Tauscher for 3 hours discussing, among the other things, the Green Bay Packers. And yesterday with Brian Bulaga, discussing how confident you are in the Packers as far as the way that we always use that and judge that is based on what you would be willing to bet. It's easy to say, yeah, I'm going to pick them. I think they're going to win the Super Bowl. But would you bet on them to win the Super Bowl? Bulaga and I were both of agreement that we would bet for the Packers to make the playoffs, the maximum amount, which is $100 in the setup. And then it's to win the division. And I certainly have a greater appreciation of winning the division than in the past. You make the playoffs, but especially when you're a 7th seed, you're just only going to go so far. Yes, in 2010, they were a 6th seed. They only had 6 teams in then, and they made it. But you I'll have to check to see how often. It's just, you got to win your division. So that becomes, and I said that I'd bet $40 that you win the division. Now, if you win the division, that to me gives you a significantly greater chance of getting to the NFC Championship game. So that's where you want to be. They have not. LaFleur did that his first couple of years, but they have not done that since. So the chance of getting to the Super Bowl, winning the Super Bowl, you just over time realize it's just so much easier and your chances are so much better if you win your division. The discussion for me about the Packers is very simple. They're good. They're going to make the playoffs. They're good. The question is, are they good enough? And good enough, does that mean you got to be good enough to get to the Super Bowl, win the Super Bowl? Is Goody good enough as a GM? Is LaFleur good enough as a coach? Is Jordan Love good enough as a quarterback? My answer is right now, all three of them fall short. You don't have to have all three be great, but you got to have one of them. Right now, none. And so what are you then? You're a good team, but not really good. And going to make the playoffs, but are you going to get to a Super Bowl? One of those three has to do better than where they're at right now. And joining us now is Packer and Badger, Gary Ellerson. Good afternoon, Gary.
I feel like every time I come on this show, the Home Hour,
yeah,
I feel like on purpose you try to irritate me.
I don't. I say what I believe. Now tell me where I'm wrong. I can handle that. Where am I wrong?
Like on purpose. I feel like purpose. You just try to come in and just flame the coals.
Well, so what? They're good, but not really good. Fire. What is wrong with that? What are your? Or maybe there's something else. I don't know.
What are your? So you're saying they're good but not great?
Yeah, you got to have something that tilts the field. Who tilts the field? Is it the GM? Is it the head coach, the quarterback, or maybe you have a player?
So who do you want me to choose from? You want me because this is how?
No, I don't want you to choose from. You don't have to choose from anybody.
I want me to choose who's the worst.
No, they're all good. There's no worst there. They're all good.
Okay.
But they're all good. Somebody's got to be better than good.
In order to do what?
In order to make the Super Bowl. In order to be one of the elite teams.
Yeah, you're right.
So, I'm not... Gary, right now, today, I wish the Packers were starting their season. Today. Because I'm curious to see what happens, and I think they have a chance.
It's about the first time I heard you say that because I was on with those KBN boys, and they all you people are just, y'all get on my last nerve, man.
Why?
Yeah, you are. You hanging out with these young guys, you know better.
What do you mean I know better? You bring up this. It's better than when we sucked. Well, that's not anybody's standard.
But you know the process, Steve.
Yeah.
You know the process, and the process is you. In my guesstimation, you're playing with house money. How did you know you were going to be where you are after you got rid of a first ballot Hall of Famer? No franchises are doing that.
What do you mean? The 49ers did it with Mariucci was the coach. They brought in Garcia. They did exactly what the Packers have done with LaFleur. Exactly. You don't remember the teams when they are still good but not special.
No. What I'm saying to you is, if you look at history, okay, you gave me the 49ers, Jeff Garcia, great. But if you look at history, most teams are not doing that. Whatever happened to Dan Marino with the Miami Dolphins after that?
They actually made the Super Bowl with another quarterback, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
Woodley, I think, maybe.
But Woodley, I think, because I played with Woodley. Whatever happened to the Giants after Manning? Whatever happened to the Colts after Manning? What's happening right now to the
Colts after Manning did okay with Andrew Luck, actually, but
after Brady, well, they didn't get to the Super Bowl though.
They did everything the Packers have done.
Yeah.
Not
sustained. Not sustained. No,
sustained what? Making the playoffs?
I'm talking about not sustained. The Colts were sustained with Luck. No, they did okay, but what has happened here, Homer?
Yes.
After you lose that quarterback, 12, there's a reset button.
Yeah,
you got to start out. You got to start all over, and that's where we are right now, Packer fans. We're starting all over. I know y'all want to be in the Super Bowl right now today, but we're not there yet. The process isn't done yet.
Yeah, fine, but what's to make you believe that the process is going to elevate?
I don't know if anyone knows if they know if the process is going to elevate.
I agree. Yeah.
I mean, you got to be a little lucky, right? Your younger players have to develop, and if they don't develop, you got to move on from them, and then you got to go get some free agents because you kind of waste your time with these young guys. But it's all developing in front of your face, and if you're not patient, then you're not patient. I'm patient. I understand what's happening. I see it. I think what Brian Gutekunst and his staff, they have done an absolutely great job to move away from a first ballot Hall of Fame quarterback to make your team still relevant and still in the conversation of trying to get into the Super Bowl. That is hard to do in today's game. Now, can you go out and name the Jeff Garcias of the world? Sure. Can you go out and name, is it Oliver Luck? No, it's not Oliver Luck. Was it
Andrew Luck?
Oliver was Andrew Luck.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can go out and there are some instances that are out there, but for the most part, when you lose that guy, that quarterback, your franchise fails for the next, 15, 20 years, it feels like.
I don't think it's that bad. I'll have to look up, especially if you have a good general manager. That's the most important thing by far. And
that's the most important thing.
And actually have in the case of the Cowboys, a good owner, because he screwed that up totally. But I mean, they've been.
I feel like every Friday you want to fight with me.
I don't. I said they're good. Now you are more confident that the process. To me, it's still to be determined.
Yeah, the book is yet to be written. The final chapter is not even there yet. You're only on chapter 3. I don't know how many chapters is in his book, but for sure you're only on 3. You're going on 3. Your quarterback will be a 3-year starter this upcoming season. That's where you are. And, here's another thing. My guys on KBN before, they try to get me in this little in defense a couple weeks ago. They asked me about Jaden Daniels. Gary, would you take Jaden Daniels over Jordan Love?
I would.
I go, guys. Jaden Daniels was a better football player than Jordan Love coming out of college.
It's true.
What was he, the number 2 pick? Number 3? I don't know. Top 5?
There were some that liked Jordan Love almost as high or as high. But yes, he was. Jaden Daniels had higher grades.
Yes.
Yeah, he was the number 2 pick overall after Caleb Williams.
I would have taken Caleb Williams over Jordan Love if they were in the same draft.
Yes. And so your point is?
Well, my point is everybody now trying to say, Jordan Love is not this guy. He has to develop. He didn't have that raw talent that those 2 guys had coming out of college. Now, I will say this. Jalen Hurts has a different skill set than Jordan Love.
Correct.
So I don't know if they are really comparable.
Jordan Love's a better passer, right?
Correct. They're a different skill set.
Yeah.
Altogether.
So here's the question. How do you want people, or not even that, it doesn't matter people, how do you rate or comment about the Packers and want everybody to know that's your view? Not everybody's too much this, but
I think the overall theme, Homer, that they're not there yet.
Correct.
I mean, and they're still developing. And then I think what Goody's going to have to do, and you got to trade lightly with this, Goody's going to have to do with all these second, third-year players, he's going to have to figure out, is there any more growth in this, or do I have to move on from them and do something else? That's where we're kind of headed towards right now. Because all players mature at different stages of their careers. Like, one dude could be at his peak after year 1, and one dude could just be hitting his peak in year 3, but never as good as that guy in year 1. In year 1, that's about as good as he's going to get. But they're going to have different stages of some of these guys that they're going to have to make a decision on whether to pay them or whether to move on.
You're right. Yeah, I would agree with that. And then also they draft other people, and maybe those players are better.
You're looking at right now, just the name for me is Lucas Van Ness has to show something next year. I didn't see much of him. I thought his rookie campaign was okay, but I didn't see much of him this year. There's going to have to be some sort of jump off the chart improvement there.
Yeah. But I look at it and never assess just that. I always look at the choices. Van Ness, okay, even if he's a bust, say he's a bust. Well, Luke Musgrave, Jaden Reed, Tucker Kraft, Dontavius Wicks, those are some good players. I don't expect them all to be great.
Right, good.
I mean, we know this. Lucas Van Ness ain't going to be great, right?
No, he's not. Well, Saquon Barkley is the first ballot Hall of Famer.
I mean, Lucas Van Ness is never, to me, going to be great. He could still be a pretty good player. And if I have a draft, if Musgrave plays, if I have a draft with Musgrave, Reed, Kraft, Wicks, I can live with that. If those guys each keep getting better. So
they need to be better than they are. Those guys.
Yeah, but they should get better. I mean, so you can have an okay draft even if your first round pick, Jordan Morgan, who's hurt, Cooper, Bullard, Williams, 3 of the next 5 picks. That's a good draft. If they just continue to play at that level and get better. Jordan Morgan
right,
plays.
But Homer, it's kind of what you came on with early, which I really don't have a problem with, is that, though, and you're right in your synopsis, is in that in order to get to the Super Bowl, you got to have special players to get to the Super Bowl.
Yes, you got to have something special. You got to, as Ron Wolf would call, a field tilter.
Yeah, you got to have a field tilter. And they don't, right now, have that on this roster.
Right. And
now, who knows if they develop someone, maybe on this roster right now, they develop into that. But right now, today, they don't have that. They don't have it.
But but they're still good because they've got a number of good players and they got a good coach.
Shown, I think Jordan Love has shown signs of being that guy, but you need to see more.
Yes. And you need to see more from Goody. He needs to have a better first-round pick. And you need to see more from LaFleur. Because I still can't figure out why they couldn't have a better offense with Jacobs running as well as he did. Bulaga's tried to explain it to me, but it doesn't. You have all these receivers open when LaFleur first comes, and now all of a sudden you have this good running back and great running back this year.
Here's what we'll do. We'll go back to Philadelphia once again. They figured it out.
Yes.
Philadelphia, in the first 4 or 5 games, they were on Philadelphia of old before they got Saquon. And then they at some point they said, you know what? A.J. Brown, sorry. We'll get it when we get it to you.
Yeah. Go read a book. Their GM is very good. Because he's even made mistakes.
It wasn't really the GM. I'm saying you're talking about Josh Jacobs, and I think we're talking the same thing. I'm talking Saquon Barkley, where they had a game plan the first 4 weeks of the season, Philadelphia did, and then they were able to adjust to the stud running back that they got. We did not do that as well as we should with Josh Jacobs.
Yeah. And well, how come?
I don't know.
All right, because you got a guy.
That's the point. That's the point that I'm making here. Go ahead.
I would agree with you. That's why I think the person that has the most pressure going into next season to me is LaFleur. But dude, you're this offensive guy. It got players open and made plays and put up, and all of a sudden now you got this great running back and nothing fits anymore. What is this? So, I think he's the one that disappointed me the most this season. And
Matt LaFleur.
Yes, and if he's good, then he'll show it coming into next season. All right, 1-800-990-3776. Feel free to call in if you have a comment or a question for Gary Allison, or if you're one of the fans he says has too high a standard. That's to me that's what I hear from you every week.
Here we go. Too high of a standard.
That's what I hear you saying about the other fans. That's what I hear, but I don't know if that's accurate.
I don't mind a high standard.
Yeah.
I mind what bothers me of where you think we should be after losing a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Okay. Yeah.
I just don't think people understand how hard it is to recuperate from losing 12.
Got
and
it.
Starting all over. I don't think people don't understand how hard it is.
So you should. All right, I got it now. Like, you should be very happy that they're already where they are, and yes, it will be determined in the future as to how far they can get. But understand that to this point, the transition has been very good.
Let me ask you this:
Yes.
Who has a brighter future to you, the Pittsburgh Steelers or the Green Bay Packers?
Green Bay Packers.
Why?
Because the head coach of Pittsburgh has refused to adjust to some degree, or actually the other way, no quarterback, and they haven't adjusted defensively to be as dominant as they once were.
Number one thing,
Quarterback.
They don't have a quarterback.
They don't have a quarterback.
That's why. And they were both in the playoffs this year.
Right.
They lost Big Ben, and it cost them because they really didn't have a quarterback, and now they sit in flux.
I don't think they've won a playoff game in X number of years. But 8 years, they haven't won a playoff game. That's a long time.
It's a long time.
And so you might say their transition has been good or average now at 8 years, whereas you'd have to say the Packers in their transition to Jordan Love to this point has been very good. No guarantee that it will continue very good, but to be where they are in the short amount of time, just 2 years of Jordan Love, you'd have to give that a very good. Yeah, you might have convinced me.
You have to.
Yeah,
because if you're a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, you feel right now that there's no hope because you don't have a quarterback. Right. They don't believe in Justin Fields.
Yeah, and their defense is no longer dominant to where it could cover an average quarterback the way they did once.
Exactly. Well, they're on the field too much.
Right.
They're on the field too much.
Yeah. I mean, Baltimore did it 1 year, Denver 1 year. Yeah, it's tougher to do that because the league has kind of changed the rules. Gary Ellison, second quarter, and you get him 4 quarters today. Yes, the transition by the Packers from Aaron Rodgers to Jordan Love to this point has been very good. That'll be our Discount Liquor Twitter poll question, Pebble. You, if you have questions or comments, and if you don't, I've said this before, you just don't care that much.
Okay.
That's how you can determine with any group about any topic. If they have no questions about that topic, they don't care. Because if you care, you got questions. You got lots of questions, even if you don't generally ask questions. It's that simple. 1-800-990-3776. You might be next. Gary Ellison definitely is next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on 94.5 ESPN.
We do have an accident northbound on Highway 100, just north of Sutter Street. The left lane is blocked with that, so that's going to be causing some issues. On 41 southbound, we got backups right past Silver Spring. We do have that earlier accident there at that point off on the right shoulder, just a semi-truck stuck on the right side there. A little bit more of a delay past Capitol Drive. Eastbound 94, watch for delays from 92nd Street through to 35th. The westbound side slow from 27th to Mitchell Boulevard. And southbound 43 slowing down just south of Capitol Drive down towards the North Avenue curve. Northbound is backed up from Fond du Lac Avenue up to Locust. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, mostly cloudy skies, a low of 26. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy with a high of 35. Weather is brought to you by Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center in Waukesha. Join their 2-man scramble tournament and play at Pebble Beach for a chance to win cash through the 31st. Sign up at wisconsinindorgolfcenter.com. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
What happens when you mix a 3-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year with a Packers Hall of Famer?
I'm not going to get into the Kringle turnover game, so that's what it needs to be. I think his legs Yeah.
Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Like the pastry
you guys being
turnovers.
serious? You guys can't put two and two
I got it. I did not get it.
They don't call themselves Racine Danish
I'm
turnovers.
sorry. Sometimes I wonder about you two, man.
Catch him from 9 to noon right here on 94.5 ESPN, the Wisconsin On Demand app, and at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Winning in the NFL comes down to the basics, blocking and tackling. In retirement, protection and income are the keys to success. Simply put, if you're nearing or in retirement, you can't afford a stock market crash. Hi, I'm Mitch Lyons. Having played on winning teams with the Steelers and Falcons, studying game film was a key to success. Now I'm a best-selling author and star in a new groundbreaking documentary film called The Retirement Deception. It unveils how the Wall Street machine has been deceiving us for decades and proves you don't need to risk your nest egg in the market to have the retirement you deserve. This film shows you exactly how to protect your retirement from stock market drops and produce more income than you thought possible. I want you to watch this film for free. Call today for your free copy of The Retirement Deception. I think you would agree 30 to 40 years of saving for retirement is at least worth a phone call to watch this film and see how you can improve your retirement. Call today to speak with an all-pro retirement specialist to get your free copy of The Retirement Deception. Call 855-620-1801. That's 855-620-1801. MitchLyonsWealth.com. Your best game plan to protect, grow, and win retirement.
Bring in the new year at your local Milwaukee Metro Region Cunis Auto Group dealerships. If it's the new year, it's time for a new ride. So plan on driving into 2025 in style at a Cunis Auto Group dealership near you. Your Milwaukee Metro Region Cunis dealerships feature America's best-selling brands from both Buick and GMC, all at nearby locations in Oak Creek and Greenfield. During January, every remaining new 2024 vehicle plus thousands of select pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs are all being discount price to sell. We've got to make immediate room for hundreds of incoming new 2025s, as well as hundreds of fresh trade-ins from the holiday season. We're paying top values on all trades, no matter what the mileage or condition. Don't forget to check out individual dealership websites for pre-owned vehicles super specials. Plus, January service specials on everything from oil changes, tires, and brakes. Ring in big New Year savings at your nearby Milwaukee Metro Region Cunis Auto Group dealerships, or shop online at shopcunis.com.
Kevin Moret here from Mentality. Life's a relentless competition, and you might be losing without even knowing it. With testosterone levels plummeting 25% in just 2 decades, you're likely operating at a fraction of your potential. Your kids sense it when you're too exhausted for playtime. Your wife notices when that spark fades. Here's the harsh truth. Without addressing low T, nothing works. Diets fail, workouts fall flat, but there's hope. Mentality's FDA-approved treatment restores testosterone by an average of 30%. Don't let low T rob you of life's precious moments. Start at mentalityhealth.com/radio.
This is the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
The Gary Ellison Homer Hour. And we have a Discount Liquor Twitter poll question. Pebble, as a result, and the thanks is to Gary Ellison. What do we got, Pebble?
So our Discount Liquor Twitter poll question for today at the Homer Hour on Twitter at ESPN Milwaukee. You can find the Packers' transition from Aaron Rodgers to Jordan Love has been blank, and your 3 choices are very good, good, or average. We'll take that poll right now at the Homer Hour on Twitter or at ESPN Milwaukee.
Good question, huh, Gary? And now, talk to us about your partner.
Fellas, listen up. If you're getting ready to take that next step in life and propose, the Jury Center has to be the first stop. Whether it's naturally mined or lab-grown diamonds, the Jury Center has options for it all. Maybe you don't know exactly what kind of ring that special someone wants, but if they have a Pinterest board or ideas, bring it to the Jury Center. Their team of experts will help take your ideas from a dream to a reality. Learn more about their engagement ring selection or any other services at shoptjc.com. Or stop in today at any of their 3 locations at Greenfield, Brookfield, or Burlington.
And travel fans, listen up, explore the many shades of Ireland with Colette Vacations and me and my wife. On August the 9th, we're heading off on an unbelievable journey, explore the historic city of Dublin, kiss the famous Blarney Stone, and stand on the spectacular cliffs of Moher. Visit an Irish dairy farm. Visit and enjoy a taste or two at a historic whiskey distillery, and stay in a medieval castle. You can visit ESPNMilwaukeeTravel.com, ESPNMilwaukeeTravel.com, and you can come on Sunday, February the 2nd, this Sunday, 5 o'clock, Maddie's Bar and Grill. I'll be there, my wife will be there, and all the Colette team to tell you everything you need to know and how you can sign up. That's this Sunday, February 2nd, Maddie's in New Berlin at 5 p.m. And yes, my comment, If you care about the Packers, you got questions or comments. Steve in Middleton, you're on with Gary Ellison. Let her fly.
Yeah, Homer, first, I enjoyed you and Tausch together today, and I think you kind of wore him out, which is good for him. Now, my question for Gary is, isn't it possible to have too damn many coaches on a football team? Nowadays, you got assistant to assistant. I think sometimes maybe so many voices can screw up a player.
Well, I mean, I think there's a point to that, but I think if each player is getting individual treatment because that's what you want, I don't think there's never enough because there's always questions that needs to be answered. Your coaching staff has to be on the same page, right? Everybody's got to be coaching the same system. So if that's happening, I think you're okay.
Okay, but I don't know how it did years ago when, of course, they got more players now, but when there was like 8 or 9, this is even in college, even in basketball, it's like when you got enough coaches, you got to sit behind the bench. Or you got enough coaches.
No, Steve, you make a great question. Nobody's studied or even analyzed whether all these coaches are a good thing or a bad thing. You got like 100 coaches. How important can one coach be when you got like 20?
Here's what you're getting, home. You should be getting more individualized coaching. Like you should be getting one-on-one coaching much more than you ever have.
Right. Let me ask you. You were in the pros. Did you ever think, and I don't believe there was one day, I do not believe there was one day in Gary Ellison's pro career when he said, we need more assistant coaches. Not a chance in the world. And there's not one player on that team who thought that.
Because you didn't know what you didn't know.
What did you think you would have been better with more coaches? I don't believe that.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely? Whoa.
Absolutely. I think I would have benefited from more coaching. Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
How many is enough?
Not everybody does, but I think I would have been one of those guys who would benefited from individual coaching. Absolutely.
How much did you get? You had a running backs. Hold on. You had a running backs coach, right?
Yeah, but you got like 8 other running backs, one coach.
So you would have preferred how many?
Well, I would say at least 2.
At least 2. All right.
Running backs and then the assistant coach to the running backs.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Quality control is what they call them. All right. Duly noted.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
Thanks for helping out. 1-800-990-3776. See, that person had a question. You're just always curious.
That was a good question.
It was a good question.
Yeah.
And the discount liquor Twitter poll question, 1-800-990-3776, is a good question because it addresses the transition. Has been very good, good, or average. So far, very good, 21%, good, 53%, and average, 26%. Okay. There you know, that's where they're at. The premise to me would be, in order to continue very good, you've got to get better. I would say to stay very good, you've got to get to an NFC championship game in the next 2 years. That'd be what I would say.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I love it when Gary Ellison agrees.
We agree on that.
All right. NFC championship in next 2 years.
Yeah.
Because
absolutely.
And I think, and I haven't looked at it as much, but I just think that winning the division is probably more important than I've stressed in the past in terms of doing that. It just becomes so much easier in the playoffs when you win your division.
It does.
But
that number 1 seed is really valuable.
But you win your division, you're in one of the top 4. And go ahead.
But we've had a number 1 seed and lost before, right?
That's correct. Yes, we've had
Detroit Lions had a number 1 seed and lost.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, you win your division, you're going to be one of the top 4 seeds.
Correct.
Not necessarily number 1, but yes, the Packers. I think, and the Institute will have to check. The Packers have done pretty poorly, actually, in that 1 seed situation. Again, the only Super Bowl everyone knows, they were a 6 seed.
Right.
And they would not have made the playoffs the last 2 years had they not expanded the playoffs to 7 teams, which is no way to me. I'm not saying they're lucky or anything like that, but that speaks to where they have been in terms of the excellence in the NFC. And part of that is because the unfairness of having the 4 division winners as the top 4 seeds, even if 1 or 2 of those records could be El Succo, but you win the division. I do not believe. Yeah. Oh, by the way, this will give me a chance to maybe state what will be remembered more than anything else on the show. But I don't think there's any way that a division winner should automatically be a top 4 seed. A division winner is guaranteed a spot in the playoffs, but the record determines where you are ranked.
I would agree with that.
Yeah,
moving forward.
I would hope. Yeah, I hope they would move there. All right. Since that was mentioned as a suggestion, the NBA has an issue with the players getting better and now taking so many three-point shots. It's the way to play. I believe the NBA should change, and the shot should be 2.5 points, not 3. You don't have to change the distance. You just don't get as much. Why can't you have a shot be 2.5? Why does it have to be 2 or 3? We're not. This is not the 1800s. You have a scoreboard. You're down by 2.3. Fine, you can make it 3. No, 3s are too important. The other option is to change don't change anything. You just get 2.5 instead of 3. And if that doesn't work, make it 2.3. Whatever number you have to play, you have to have so that you take fewer 3s, and when you have a fast break, you take a layup over a 3. I don't know what that number is. Gary, as is the case with this show, people don't know this, that everything that is brought up for the first time. Gary has never heard me mention the 2.5 shot in the NBA. So I have no idea what his thought is. I assume he won't like it, but I think it's not only good, it's brilliant. Why does it have to be 2 or 3? Make it whatever is necessary to create the balance that you want, and 3 is clearly too many for the shot they're taking. All you got to do is change the number. And you can do that every year. You can do that every game. Today's game, it's 2 and 2.64. That would be hard because people couldn't realize how far behind they are. All right, Gary, your response, or do you want to wait until after the break?
Let's go to break. We'll come back.
Yeah. Pebble, you feel necessary to state anything right now about my idea, which solves the issue in the NBA?
I need to think about it a little bit.
Pebble,
2.5 points. I'm out, Homer. How hard is it to figure out math-wise? 2.5 points?
Easy. If you can't figure it out, I don't want you at the NBA. What, 2.5? A half is hard? If you go more than a half, yes, but Pebble. A half is easy.
So teams are going to be scoring 98.5 points.
Yes, exactly. And you can see the 2.5 if you need 2.5.
So final score, 97.5 to 95.5.
Yes. And who cares? What difference does it make? All right, well, I think we got a negative there, Gary. We'll go next. And again, 1-800-990-3776. Call in. Everybody's got an opinion on that. You should. We will take those that speak of its brilliance first. Next.
The Homer Hour is back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
We do have an accident northbound on Highway 100, just north of Center Street. The left lane is blocked with that, so that's going to be causing some issues. On 41 southbound, we got backups right past Silver Spring. We do have that earlier accident there at that point off on the right shoulder, just a semi-truck stuck on the right side there. A little bit more of a delay past Capitol Drive. Eastbound 94, watch for delays from 92nd Street through to 35th. The westbound side slow from 27th to Mitchell Boulevard. And southbound 43 slowing down just south of Capitol Drive down towards the North Avenue curve. Northbound is backed up from Fond du Lac Avenue up to Locust. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, mostly cloudy skies, a low of 26. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy with a high of 35. Weather is brought to you by Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center in Waukesha. Join their 2-man scramble tournament and play Pebble Beach for a chance to win cash through the 31st. Sign up at wisconsinindoorgolfcenter.com. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga, 94.5 ESPN.
ESPN Radio Sports Beat with Freddie Coleman.
They're always going to be important players when it comes to any Super Bowl. But for my money, Super Bowl 59, the most important player that will decide who's going to win this game between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs is not the quarterback on either side. It's the one running back that has been that dominant this year in the National Football League, and that is Saquon Barkley, the Philadelphia Eagles. He is averaging close to 129 yards rushing per game. Let me say that out loud. He is averaging close to 129 yards rushing per game in any game this year. If he plays like that, Jalen Hurts won't have to get in touch with in a DTM doing too much. He can just relax and let Saquon Barkley carry the load. But if Saquon Barkley can't do that, the Chiefs' defense slows him down, then Jalen Hurts is going to be on the spotlight again. If Saquon Barkley runs the ball effectively, that means Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City may be playing uphill. The quarterbacks may rule the day, but for this Super Bowl 59, it's the running back, Saquon Barkley, the Eagles. That's the most important dude on the field in New Orleans. In 60 seconds, boy, Cam Newton said something.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash, and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother was saying he got life insurance from Ethos. With Ethos, it only took 10 minutes, and he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit GetEthos.com. That's GetEthos.com.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
It's playoff time, and you can take full advantage by winning some cash playing daily fantasy football on Sleeper Picks. Just pick more or less on at least 2 player stats, and you can win up to 1,000 times your money. And now, Sleeper has a special offer. New users just have to play $5 to get $55 in free entries. Download the Sleeper app today and use code SCORE and get $55 in free entries when you play $5. That's code SCORE. Must be at least 18 years old. Promo code, location, and other restrictions apply. Minimum deposit, $25. See terms of use for details. Please play responsibly. Call 1-800-426-2537 for help.
Usually First Take on ESPN from 10 to noon Eastern time, Monday through Friday with Stephen A. Smith, Molly Curum, and the crew. They always have something involved where it's going to get people having a chance to talk about it, having a conversation. Boy, did that happen from Thursday. Stephen A. Smith asked Cam Newton, former NFL quarterback, former MVP, would he trade his MVP award for a Super Bowl championship? And he quickly said no. And then he phrased his answer by starting, now that's a journalistic way to ask a question. But then he explained exactly why he would not trade that, because when your peers tell you that you are the best in your field, that meant a lot more to him when it comes to winning a Super Bowl. Now, for all the people saying, how dare he be selfish that way, mark my words, Cam Newton is not the only person, male or female in professional sport, that feels that way. You may not have liked to have heard that truth from Cam Newton. That doesn't mean he was wrong or is wrong by putting it out there. For the ESPN Radio Sports Beat, I'm Freddie Coleman of ESPN Radio's Freddie and Harry.
You're listening to the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
Oh, yes. The Gary Ellerson Homer Hour. It's time to play some golf. That's right. Golf is now 12 months of the year. Gary, tell them.
It sure is, home team. Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center is hosting their first ever tournament with $750 in cash prizes available. Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center invites you to play in a 2-man scramble at Pebble Beach, all from the comforts of indoors on their top-tech, cutting-edge golf simulators. Grab a friend and sign up today at WisconsinIndoorGolfCenter.com. The tournament is $120 per pairing and runs through January 31st. Your winter chance to play Pebble Beach awaits. WisconsinIndoorGolfCenter.com.
1-800-990-3776. Pebble, we got any callers?
We do not.
What is wrong? Millions and millions of Packer fans. You're not a fan unless you have a question or comment. The question tells me that you care. We have the Discount Leaguer Twitter poll question up. We'll get to that. But I want to tell you I'm back. People are going to be telling me, Homer, I know it's a half hour. I know it's 30. You don't have to tell me again. Yeah, I do. American Place Casino, just a half hour south of Franklin. 38 minutes if you want to be precise. American Place Casino, located in Lake County, Illinois. They have great table games, great slot machines. They got a sports book. They get great food. They get all their promotions every month at AmericanPlaceCasino.com. All important. But that's not mine. What's mine is American Place Casino, together now, a half hour south of Franklin, exactly 38 minutes. I can't hear you. American Place Casino, a half hour south of Franklin, 38 minutes exactly. I feel like such a I don't feel like a failure. I just get mad at all the millions listening that nobody has a question or comment about the. Oh, we do. We have Steve in Pewaukee. Is it going to be at the Packers or about my brilliant suggestion changing the NBA? The 3-point shot is now 2.5. Yes, Steve. Let her fly. You're on 94.5 ESPN, and people listening around the world on YouTube, ESPN Milwaukee.
A quick question for Mr. Ellerson. As new players are being evaluated, what's more important? The measurables and the physical ability they bring, or their production?
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, it's about production, right? You can have all the measurables in the world, but if you don't have the production, it doesn't matter. You got to produce.
I do have a question for you, Gary Davis, because I heard Bill Belichick talking about it, or maybe saying was that Belichick had rules about measurables to draft a player. Like a cornerback has to be this tall. I'm not taking anybody unless they have the measurables. Now, from those measurables, then all these other factors may come in terms of who I take. But he clearly, I guess, had specific measurables that limited the range. Now, my guess is, Gary, the measurables had to be such that you still had a large number of people to pick from. It's not like his measurable was you got to be a size 20 shoe.
I mean, didn't for a minute, I think Ron Wolf, or was it Ted, had a measurable as far as cornerbacks was concerned?
Yes. They should not have taken Terrell Buckley.
Right.
But they saw Buckley as not only a cornerback, but someone who could have a huge influence in the locker room because they thought he was somebody who actually he wasn't. But and then also that he could return kicks. So there was but yes, they definitely had that rule. And when they got rid of Buckley, it was a person who fit that rule with Craig Newsome. Great point. So, yeah, I think everybody has some measurables in terms of they're going to very much limit the people they draft at a certain position based on some of that, right? Like maybe it's a 40 time. There might be conceivable exceptions, but I don't know that that's necessarily a bad thing. You got to be able to physically do things at a certain level to just stay on the field, right, in the NFL.
Right, and then some years later, they go draft Jair Alexander. I don't know if he fit the measurables where they are, but I know they took a chance with that draft pick.
I would,
relative to how tall he was.
I would say this. I don't know, but I have to get the Institute to study it. But I think people in generally will underestimate the performance of Jair Alexander with the Packers. Like, they will remember him as being not as good as he might have been because of all the injuries. But, I don't know. How good was he? Was he really good at one time? He was the highest paid cornerback. Are you going to remember the greatness of Jair Alexander? Are you going to remember that, Gary? Or are you going to say he just wasn't as good as everybody or as I thought he would be? I don't know. What?
Well, he never reached his potential on a consistent basis.
Very good. On a consistent basis. All right. Larry in Iowa cares enough to have a question, but he's going to have to wait for the fourth quarter with Gary Ellerson. Next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up on ESPN Wisconsin. Join Homer on the trip of a lifetime to see the many shades of Ireland in August. Text Homer to 800-990-3776 for info. It doesn't matter if it's your first betting slip ever or just the first one of the week. We've got your Potawatomi sportsbook picks covered. Tune in Wednesdays to the Weekly Wager with Greg Matzik, Ben Brust, and Jen Latta.
If someone gives you 10,000 to 1 on anything, you take it.
The Weekly Wager, Wednesday nights at 6, right here on 94.5 ESPN, the Wisconsin On Demand app, and ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube channel.
Hi, I'm David Gruber. When you've been seriously injured, you need the best team of professionals on your side. Call Wisconsin's own Gruber Law Offices to get the results you deserve. One call, that's all.
Dr. Aaron Holtebeck and his team at Holtebeck Eye Center make vision care a top priority. They are your premium provider for eye care and corrective eye surgeries. Dr. Holtebeck has been helping local patients with their eye care needs for over 20 years. Dr. Nausheen Abbas joined the Holtebeck Eye Center team last September, and her practice philosophy is to provide patient-centered medicine by giving all options. Located in Brookfield near the corner of Calhoun and Capitol. Learn more about their services at holtebeck.com.
Homer here. I'm inviting you to join me starting August the 9th, as we explore the many shades of Ireland with Colette Vacations. A 10-day journey filled with legendary views, historic expeditions, and unforgettable tales. Explore the historic city of Dublin, kiss the famous Blarney Stone, and stand on the spectacular cliffs of Moher. We'll also journey Ireland's breathtaking countryside and follow the stunning coastal route of the Ring of Kerry. We'll experience the daily life of an Irish family with a dairy farm visit, and even enjoy a taste or two at a historic whiskey distillery. Plus, there's a stay overnight in a medieval castle. Join me for all of these experiences and many more. Visit ESPNMilwaukeeTravel.com for trip information, or come to Maddie's Barn Grill in New Berlin on February the 2nd to meet me and the Colette team. Colette handles all the details of the 10-day excursion, the flights, the meals, the hotels, the experiences. Your only job is to have the time of your life. Don't miss out. Learn all about it on February 2nd at 5 p.m. in New Berlin at Maddie's Barn Grill.
The 2025 Wisconsin football schedule is here, and you should be too. Season tickets are on sale now, so don't miss your chance to jump around at Camp Randall Stadium this fall. Last year, 6 of 7 home games were sellouts, proof that there's nothing like game day with the Badgers. Secure your spot for marquee matchups against Ohio State, Washington, and Iowa, and enjoy the best value to see Wisconsin football in action. For more information and to get your season tickets, visit ewbadgers.com or call 1-800-GO-BADGERS.
This is Kevin Moret from Mentality. Every day is a silent competition, and with testosterone dropping 1% annually, you're fighting an uphill battle. Your colleagues notice when you lose your edge, your partner senses when your confidence wavers, and without addressing low T, you're set up to fail. No willpower can overcome this hormonal deficit. Mentality's FDA-approved treatments have shown a 30% increase in testosterone levels. Don't let low T define you. Reclaim your power at mentalityhealth.com/radio. That's mentalityhealth.com/radio.
Wisconsin is still cattle country, and that's why Bunzel's chose to stay close to home to hand select the finest beef. Quality goes into everything they do, from Bunzel's expansive array of meats, homemade specialty sausages, and their award-winning beef jerky. It just isn't a proper holiday meal without Bunzel's top quality cuts on the dinner table. Tasting is believing. Visit Bunzel's at 90th and Burleigh or bunzels.com.
We know that the people of Wisconsin are hard workers, that they're tough, but even the toughest among us need help after a serious accident. If you've been injured, call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
Welcome back to the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
Gary Ellison, the Gary Ellison Homer Hour. He's got more to say about a partner. Listen closely.
Folks, we'll talk about our good friends over at the Jury Center. They have to be your first stop, guys. Whether it's naturally mined or lab-grown diamonds, the Jury Center has options for it all. Maybe you don't know exactly what kind of ring that special someone wants, but if they have a Pinterest board or ideas, bring it to the Jury Center. Their team of experts will help take you from ideas to a reality. Learn more about their engagement ring selection or any other services at shoptjc.com. That's shoptjc.com. Or stop in today at any of their 3 locations in Greenfield, Brookfield, or Burlington.
Yeah, the Packers were a number 1 seed in 2021. They lost to the 49ers in the divisional round. In 2020, they lost to Tampa in the NFC Championship. Larry in Iowa, you're on with Gary Ellison. It's the Gary Ellison Homer Hour. The day to remember when Homer's brilliant 2.5 instead of the 3-point shot in the NBA. Have not addressed that yet. Larry, let her fly.
Well, what I have is a little bit off the wall, but I would go with the 2.5. But anyway, Homer, I got to thank you. I've been listening to you since like about 1990. I used to be on a route, and I worked these long hours, and at the end of the day, I had to drive back, and you would come on. You saved my life. Thank you.
My pleasure. Do you think most people appreciate, like you do, how great I am? I'm not sure. What do you think, Larry?
Yes, I do.
You do? All right, okay. Your question for Gary.
I think you're great. I honestly do.
Unless you just want to hang out and make me feel special.
No, Gary's a good guy. I like when he's on. He's just very intelligent.
like
but anyway, my
Yeah.
suggestion
Yeah.
is, do you think – oh, my God, I'm blank. Van Ness
We got time.
into a linebacker?
Oh, excellent. Yeah.
Because he's so fast? I mean, I just thought of
Larry,
that
here's
he's
the
so
general
fast
rule,
and
I
he's
think. We'll
big.
see what Gary says. My general rule is when you suggest that a player has to change positions, he isn't any good. That's like the last
There you
straw.
have it.
Maybe the guy's alive. Let's move him on the defensive side. But it could be he is in a position where that does change, and it's probably way more legitimate than other suggestions people have. Gary, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here, Homer.
Let her fly. What do you think about the new position or change something about the way Van Ness is used?
Before we get off the air, I need to go back to something because you didn't get my opinion on it. Sometimes I often think when I hear you talk on the radio, where did you get the 2.5 points from?
Where?
Yeah, what I mean, you're home one day, or you sitting on the toilet. I mean,
I don't know. I thought. Well, they want to change it. No, wait a minute.
2.5
Let's just make it not as many points. I don't remember where it was, but yeah, one at some moment because my prep is 24/7. At some moment, I thought, hey, let's make it 2.5. See how that flies.
I just sometimes I don't understand how you come up with this kind of stuff.
It's hard to answer. Brilliance, what I would say. High IQ.
So for right now, I would say that Pebble and I don't understand the 2.5, and we think you're kind of nuts about it, right, Pebble?
100%, yes.
Well, no. If you don't get as many points for the shot, you're less likely to take it. For example, if you were just getting 2 points, nobody would shoot out there, would they, Pebble? Be no point to it.
We're down by half a point.
No, but I'm saying if all the shots were 2 points as they were up until the ABA, then you wouldn't shoot out there as much, right? You'd get as close as you can to the basket.
That's fitting. The music is fitting. The music is fitting.
So you give this a week of thought. You give it a week of thought,
bro.
You're
Lord
right now.
You
give it do you give it thumbs middle, thumbs down, or thumbs up? You give it a thumbs down. Pebble, you got
it's
it.
a whole thumbs down.
What?
Two thumbs down
all the way.
2 thumbs down all the way. Do you know what that means?
Yeah.
That's life as a visionary. No, yeah, you gotta think about it a little longer. And what I would say is play some games with that. The G League, right? Try it in the G League and see what happens.
Yeah,
who cares about that? Maybe use it in the All-Star game.
Oh, my God.
All right, we'll get to the Super Bowl next week. Gary Ellerson, you're the best. Thanks.
All right, bye, buddy.
And what I love to say, whatever's next isn't as good.
We've got some delays on eastbound 94, pretty much stretching from 92nd Street all the way through